Advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Paid actor, not a real customer. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 44-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Welcome to Ethos, a new kind of insurance company that believes life insurance should be hassle-free, affordable, and accessible for everyone.
For around $1 a day, I got a 20-year, $250,000 term life insurance policy without a medical exam. All I had to do was answer a few health questions and snap, family protected. It was quick and easy. Ethos is 100% online. I got a quote in seconds, applied in minutes, and got coverage in hours. Just answer a few health questions. No medical exam, no blood tests, no hassle. Look, nobody wants to plan for the unthinkable, but it would be so much worse to not plan at all. So don't put it off. It feels great having the peace of mind knowing that my family is protected.
Ethos, the 100% online hassle-free way to get affordable life insurance. Don't wait. Get your free online quote now at ethoslife.com. That's ethoslife.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Good morning. It's 46 degrees and sunny at 9:05. I'm Lilac Ash. A 17-year-old with a criminal record is charged in Saginaw County again for a 12-day crime spree. Justin Love of Saginaw is accused of several felonies, including stealing several vehicles, stealing a handgun and using it to commit armed robbery, shooting at a woman in the city of Saginaw, and shooting at police after a high-speed chase. Police say the crimes occurred across Saginaw County between May 3rd and May 15th. On Tuesday, Love was arraigned on charges of armed robbery and felony firearm. Prosecutors say he will likely face more charges for his other crimes. Love is considered a flight risk and is being held without bond. Large ships looking to travel through Bay City along the Saginaw River will temporarily need to give more advance notice to bridge operators. The U.S. Coast Guard has approved a rule requiring ship operators to give 2 hours notice before requiring the opening of a Basco bridge. The new rule is in effect through June 13th as construction continues on Liberty and Independence bridges. In a letter to Granite Construction, the Coast Guard outlined rules for the use of barges in the projects, including the requirement that the barges be moored outside navigational areas when not in use. WSGW News Time is 9:06.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
And we're the friendly, board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
When it comes to pest management, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Seems like people only think of us once they've spotted a pest.
And by then, it could very well be expensive to treat.
That's where our free home assessments come in. We'll look for signs of pests and identify conditions that are conducive to unwanted visitors.
Whether it's a mouse in your house or a full-blown millipede bloom,
we have just the right solution to make your yard and your home more livable.
800-966-ROSE.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time is 9:07. Weather is next. Michigan Senator Gary Peters is taking steps to keep kids safe online. Peters has joined a bipartisan group of senators to introduce the Kids Online Safety Act. The legislation would give kids tools to safeguard themselves online, require social media platforms to keep children's safety in mind, and arm parents with tips about staying safe on the web. A high school senior is being recognized for a rare feat as she plans to graduate. Michigan News Source's Tim Knight has the details.
Perfect attendance for a school year is something kids can be proud of, but Emma Jones of Taylor has not missed one class from kindergarten through her senior year this year.
Technically, it started in pre-K. I didn't miss a day pre-K, but they didn't really keep track of that, but it has been every year. I haven't missed.
That audio courtesy of Local 4 in Detroit. Jones says she plans on studying nursing at Henry Ford College. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Knight.
A man claiming to be a child has been arrested for meth possession. Troopers didn't believe Corey Allen McAlpine was a 14-year-old boy based on his facial hair and tattoo, but a 39-year-old driver from Traverse City tried to pass off the 28-year-old man as her son. The 39-year-old woman eventually told the truth, but it took a little longer for McAlpine. Troopers found meth, glass pipes, syringes, and knives in the car. He's charged with a count of possession of meth with bail set at $100,000. A 10-week effort called Operation We Will Find You resulted in the recovery of 25 missing children in Metro Detroit. The U.S. Marshals Service says some of the children were runaways, victims of sex trafficking, kidnapping, or physical abuse. The operation was carried out along with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Michigan State Police, and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. More than 3,000 missing children have been recovered since the U.S. Marshals partnered with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2005. One person is dead after a crash in southwest Michigan's Allegan Township. The Allegan County Sheriff's Office said it happened on M89 Thursday when a woman pulled her vehicle out of a private parking lot and did not yield to a westbound motorcycle, and they crashed. The 47-year-old motorcycle driver was killed, while the 56-year-old woman driving the car was not injured. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Lilac Esch. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Thursday sees a high of 59 degrees, plenty of sunshine through today with high pressure in place. We'll have a northeast wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. For tonight, we'll have a low of 37 degrees, mostly clear, patchy frost looking likely again, but then by Friday, warming up even more, a high of 70 with sunny skies and a northeast wind at 5 to 10. For your Saturday, sunny, 76, Sunday, 80, and mostly sunny. A perfect holiday weekend is ahead of us, even on Monday, looking to be mostly sunny, and after the upcoming Thursday night, we won't be worried about frost through the weekend or really even next week. It's looking like these may actually be the last frosts of the spring. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently, we have 49 degrees under sunny skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center is our sponsor, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Beautiful expanded showroom with all kinds of new products for you. Everything needed for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we will be chatting with a man by the name of At.Chet Grant, who's involved in a group that has to do with the Constitution and the Convention. We'll talk about that. Open phones at 11. We'll have no guest on Focus today. And for the first part of this hour, we're going to find out what's happening in Lansing as we say good morning to State Representative Phil Green. Representative Green, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Beautiful day today.
It does. Looks lovely out. And might even warm up, too, which would be nice. So, Phil, how long have you been in Lansing now?
I've been a state rep for, it'd be technically 4.5 years. I won the 2018 election.
And in those 4.5 years, what kind of changes have you seen in Lansing?
Well, there's been just a tremendous amount of things across the state, obviously. So my first year, my freshman term would be 2019. We were, those of us in my freshman class were learning the ropes, learning how to get things done. And then COVID hit, and that just flipped everything upside down. And so probably some of the changes that I could associate with COVID would just be, and there's some other stuff, but would probably be a change of professionalism. 2019, it seemed like both sides respected each other. There would be times where both sides of the aisle would be out to dinner working on different projects together. And then once 2020 hit and just the stress and pressures really on all of society Lansing is a reflection of our state. I would say Lansing became angry. And so now we are trying to repair relationships and return a level of professionalism and how we treat each other and a level of respect back to how we go about doing our business in the legislature.
What's it like for you not being in the majority now?
It's a little bit different, obviously, when you go to committees. My side doesn't hold the gavel. My side doesn't make the decisions as to what bills are coming up. But reality is this is a relationship business, meaning that you have to work with people. And so while there's been some changes as to who holds the gavel, who sets the agenda, being able to work with people and treat each other with respect, that those principles still hasn't really changed that much for those individuals who are trying to get things accomplished.
So let's talk about some of the things that need to be accomplished in the state. As you look at Michigan, what do you see as the forefront issues?
I think the foundational issue is education. We know from statistics that a kid who cannot read by fourth grade is 70% more likely to end up in jail or prison and with violent crimes. So really, we need to look at our education system, not place blame on an individual or a person, but look at and say, okay, let's look really at what we're doing. And are we preparing our kids for society in general? And so I think there really needs to be some major reforms as to what we teach, how we teach it, what the purpose of our teaching is, and then just looking at literally, our test scores and how we gauge what we're doing. So I think foundationally, that is a foundational component of our society. I think probably another thing we need to really look at is following 2008 in that Great Recession, 8 to 12 in that area there, we lost a lot of individuals with college education, young families that moved out of state looking for jobs. So how does our state become attractive to bring back younger families to jobs that are good paying jobs that will begin changing our population decline around?
What does the state need to do? I mean, this came to the forefront. Former Senator Ken Horn was really quite instrumental in bringing it to the forefront after the 2 battery plants were allocated to Tennessee and Michigan lost out. There was a lot of conversation about how you bring industry to the state. How do you do it from your standpoint? What needs to be done?
Well, I think obviously we have the big splash items, right? The 1,000 jobs here, 1,000 jobs there. When in reality, we begin looking at sort of our areas, Saginaw.
Whoop! Are you there, Phil? I think we just lost him. I heard a funny beep. Yep, he's gone. All right, maybe he'll call back. We'll see if we can get him back on the line. And there he is. Okay. Are you there now? We lost you. It kind of phased out.
I don't know what happened. I just heard 3 beeps and I was gone.
You were gone. The gremlins are at work. Same ones that hit Ron DeSantis last night. Anyway, so you were saying about attracting jobs.
Yeah. So, we look at some of these major productions, 1,000 jobs here, 1,000 jobs there. But then we have to remember and realize that you get out into rural Michigan, a business that starts up and hires 10 people, 15 people in Vassar, in Caro, some of those, that is just as big of an impact to a smaller community. And so I don't think we need to throw money at these companies to get them to move to Michigan. I think that's the easy thing to do, and that puts us in the conversation. But I think the main thing we can do is just to make the state competitive. Looking at our tax structure, looking at the types of things that the government can do to make the place attractive, meaning this. If you want to build a house, how long is it going to take to get permits? What type of permits are they going to be pulling? How many hoops and hollers are you going to have to jump through in order to just build a house or get a permit to build a pole barn? So making our state competitive as to why people want to live in Michigan. And sometimes I think government gets in its own way and starts creating problems, and we have to have more government to fix the problems that the government actually created. So, I mean, obviously we can talk tax structure, we can talk just about anything, but why would somebody want to start a business in Michigan?
Yeah.
That's a great question. And if the government is through regulations and through taxes is making it so that we are not competitive with Ohio or Indiana, I think we're going to struggle.
Yeah. It's probably easier, though, to be competitive with those states than it is states like Tennessee, Florida, some of those states. It was pointed out to me the other day, they don't have income taxes. And then Michigan should get rid of its income tax. And I'm saying to myself, well, that sounds good, but probably not reality.
We look at how much income is generated through income tax and where it goes. I would say this, if we starved our state government a little bit and said, okay, we're not going to have as many people out just literally harassing businesses, harassing other organizations, maybe it would not be a bad thing to just sort of let people live their lives instead of constantly wondering about, what trouble am I going to get in if I do this?
Who's looking over my shoulder?
So it's a very multifaceted question about how does Michigan become competitive. But I think if you look at our statistics on how our kids are doing on the ACPs, on the SATs, and on the other standardized tests throughout, where we rank with kids who can read coming out of high school, or where they rank how they can read in elementary, I think you would find out that our education system is not very competitive.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a quick break here, and we'll be back. We're talking to Representative Phil Green, and we will have more ahead on the Art Lewis Show.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you'll be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer at 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan, or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Jesse Kelly here. If given the choice between financial stress or peace of mind, I will always choose peace of mind. That is why I've secured gold and silver from the Oxford Gold Group. Having precious metals in your home safe or in your 401k or IRA should be considered your investment strategy. Simply put, it's a portfolio protection plan. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report. Economic growth was a little stronger than first reported for the start of the year. The updated first quarter gross domestic product reading, 1.3%, is up marginally from the initial report that showed 1.1% growth. New claims for unemployment benefits dropped last month to 229,000. And continuing claims also declined, though the numbers are impacted by a crackdown on fraud in Massachusetts. Ratings agency Fitch is warning the AAA credit rating for the U.S. is at risk because of the standoff on the debt ceiling, though NVIDIA shares are sharply higher after an upbeat quarter and forecast on surging demand for chips NVIDIA makes used in artificial intelligence. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you, a little lighter poll for some fun. Detroit sports teams and the playoffs. Since 1958, when the Pistons joined the Tigers, Lions, and Red Wings as part of the 4 major Detroit sports teams, the longest playoff drought, when none of the teams made the playoffs, was a 3-year stretch from 1979 to 1981. That stretch is now in danger of being extended, as no Detroit team has made the playoffs the last 3 years, 2020 through 2022. So the WSGW poll question for you is, what Detroit sports team do you think will be the first in the playoffs since the Pistons did it last in 2019? In alphabetical order, will it be the Lions, the Pistons, the Red Wings, or the Tigers? Make your prediction with your vote. You head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the poll box and make your vote that way.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. We're chatting with State Representative Phil Green. So, Phil, you know, the big push in the auto industry is for electric vehicles. The battery plants in Tennessee were, you know, a spark plug to get people off the duff and talk about how we attract business into Michigan. But there are businesses coming into Michigan. It's not like our doors are closed.
Correct.
And the auto companies are always looking at new technologies and new ways to do things. The question is, you know, how do we attract some of those businesses? And
great question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so as we begin looking at those attractions, right? There's a couple things that I believe businesses look at. You know, what is the regulatory system that a state is using? If they can choose to go into, let's say, Indiana on I-69, or travel 50 miles north and go into Michigan on I-69, or the same thing on I-75. What about Ohio or Michigan? What types of things makes it more likely that they would choose Michigan over a different state? And I think you can look at one of the things that as I've talked with business owners, that they look at is stability. Are the regulations and philosophy of regulations going to be the same today as they will be in 3 years? You know, if they're going to make a $1 billion investment and move a company or start a company, they look at a state and they say, okay, here's Michigan. Every 8 years, over the past 30 some odd years, every 8 years, we have a different philosophy in the executive branch. You have a Republican for 8 years, a Democrat for 8 years, Republican, Democrat, I believe is how it's gone. So what type of stability, many times businesses don't care about whether it's a left-leaning philosophy or a right-leaning philosophy. What they want to know is it going to be the same 10 years from now?
We need to probably hold up as examples some of the companies that are coming to Michigan. General Motors has partnered with a company called Nell Hydrogen, and they're going to be building a what they describe as a giga factory in Detroit. And the reason, and after looking at all 50 states, the reason they chose the Detroit area and Michigan, they list benefits including financial incentives, which we've talked about, university partnerships, training programs, and a strong support from the governor's office. And they produce, they want to improve electrolyzers and H2 hydrogen, because General Motors, would like to figure out how to use hydrogen cells, for example, and they have to have a supply. So, we take a company like that, which is looking at about 500 jobs in the next couple of years, hold them up to the rest of the world and say, well, they did it. Why can't you?
Exactly.
And again, you're right, because I think the backbone of the economy is the 25 and 50 job businesses that we all know about in our own communities. But you need to have the big corporates too, because the small businesses are feeders to the big businesses.
You're exactly correct. And many of the small, obviously right now we're specifically talking manufacturing, as we're talking about General Motors, Ford, and some of these things. But start looking up in the smaller areas, the more rural areas, the tool and die shops up there. Many of them are suppliers to the big three and to the automotive. And you begin to look at some of the declines in our rural areas, and many times that decline can be connected to when manufacturing was consolidated into a specific area. And instead of having the 50, 75 employee machine shops, they ended up consolidating them into the 400 or 500 employee machine shops in the 1980s. So I think as we look at it's not just a silver bullet, Art. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of interconnected rings as we look at our state being competitive.
Yeah. I'll move on to another topic that this governor ran on, and that's the roads and fixing the roads. And she described it slightly differently. She put forth MDOT letting out, I think, $3.5 billion in road funding bonds, or 3.2, whatever it was. But none of that can be used on local roads. It's all for state roads and federal roads. How do we get money into the local coffers for local streets in every community in this state?
Yeah, so what we did when she decided to go out and unilaterally bond, she did not come to the legislature and ask for a vote to bond. She assembled her group of advisors, and then they just went out and bonded by themselves. So what we did in that following budget is we said, okay, that money that you bonded for, boom, you got it, okay? However, we are going to prioritize the local roads in our funding formulas because the state roads already have that big influx of $1 billion. And so our goal has been to empower those county and township roads to get that last mile for where each and every one of us live. And so this is a very interesting discussion, especially as we start moving to the electrification and gas taxes. If you remember, the way she wanted to go about it was a 45-cent gas tax.
Oh, yeah.
And those of us in the rural areas said, whoa, wait a second here. This isn't going to work. But then the big question also then comes is if we are moving to electrical vehicles or hydrogen-based vehicles, as a transition in technology happens, where is the road funding going to come from? And so there has to be a different mechanism if we're going to continue funding roads the way we have been for the past 50 years or so.
And that, a lot of communities have had to go to the voters and put their own issues on the ballot for road funding. Some have succeeded, some haven't. Is that the way of the future, where every community is going to be responsible and have to raise their own money?
Well, those are some great questions, Art. We're looking at some very difficult and intertwined questions on funding and on taxes and what the role of government is. And so I would expect that there are going to be some communities that are saying, look, we're not going to depend on the state. We're not going to depend on the collective whole and their up and down love affair for rural Michigan. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it into our own hands and we're going to make our community ours instead of allowing the state to run it. And so those are some questions that are happening all across the state, county road convention, a whole bunch of different things. And so, when we start getting into this question, one of the questions is that MDOT has been proposing, I think it was MDOT or maybe it was Eagle, on how much salt can be put on roads. And so they're starting to dabble into what type of salts can be used, and then they don't like this type of salt because they say it's bad for the environment. So thus we're going to make it more expensive for the counties to buy salt. And so there's a lot of different things in here as we talk about regulations that are that's really hurting our communities. But I would definitely recommend each and every one of us as individuals, as well as, obviously our regional governments, continue the conversation in our families of how can we not be dependent on our government to take care of us. And I think that's a huge component for each and every one of our lives.
Yeah. Well, Phil, listen, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this morning, and we'll do it again down the road soon. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you, Art, and I appreciate your time as well.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
State Representative Phil Green, and we thank him for joining us this morning. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. Give us a call, whatever's on your mind.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now. From Bell's Barkery and Boutique, The Bearded Axe, Applied Training Solutions, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning, JB's Market in Munger, Branham's Jewelry, and so many more. And they're all half off. Snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Jesse Kelly here. If given the choice between financial stress or peace of mind, I will always choose peace of mind. That is why I've secured gold and silver from the Oxford Gold Group. Having precious metals in your home safe or in your 401k or IRA should be considered your investment strategy. Simply put, it's a portfolio protection plan. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but costs as low as $3 per dose? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at just $3 per dose. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but only $3 per dose. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Bases are loaded. Swinging a line drive left field. This one's over his head up against the wall. House is in. Short's right behind him. They're going to wave Riley Green around third. The throw from the outfield. Not in time.
The Tigers play at 6:15 on WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. Heard from Ken Buck yesterday, Buck Insurance, something we had talked about in the past. You will remember, I'm sure, last year that we all got $400 per vehicle checks, a rebate for the MCCA, quote, surplus, Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association. And at that time, and I talked to Ken about this, he thought that it was an election year ploy, simply to get her and legislative votes in the upcoming election, and that the large payout of $400 per vehicle would result in higher MCCA fees later on. Well, he sent me an email yesterday. Guess what? He was right. They received notification earlier this month about the MCCA fees starting in July of this year. And in sending out the notice, this was what the MCCA said. The Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association Board of Directors has approved its annual assessment rates for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024. Overall assessments are increasing for all policyholders due to an estimated $3.7 billion MCCA deficit. The MCCA unlimited assessment applies to private passenger and commercial vehicles insured for unlimited personal injury protection, medical coverage, and to motorcycles. And the MCCA deficit recoupment applies to all vehicles and motorcycles regardless of the PIP medical limit. The annual per vehicle assessments are as follows. if you have MCCA Unlimited PIP, $74, and the MCCA deficit of $48, it will cost you $122. All other PIP medical, no MCCA Unlimited coverage cost, but $48 for the deficit. So he who giveth, taketh. So there you go. Let's talk to Scott. Scott,
Hey, morning, Art.
Morning.
Morning. I got two quick things here to kind of clear up. One, I heard Gayle King, I think yesterday on CBS News, along with some other left-wing organizations, try to label Florida as a terrorist state against African Americans.
Yeah.
But the facts are Florida has the second highest African American population in the state, just behind Texas, and Florida leads the country in black-owned businesses. So the facts show me that blacks feel very comfortable in Florida opening businesses.
You know what this is all about. It's all about the DeSantis.
Well, I'm hoping to inform some people who just take the headline and never look into the story. And a second one here, Target now says that their employees were being harassed by transgender people for trying to sell adult swimsuits to adults. That's not true because we have no video of this. But what we do have video and pictures of is bathing suits called tucks for 2-year-old boys so that they can tuck their penis and parade around the beach like a little girl. That's what these parents were getting upset about. They are not activists. They are parents with some moral value.
Okay.
That's the truth. So I just wanted to let that out there because, like I said, there's a lot of Democrats who will not look into this. They just blindly follow. And that's what the media and the Democrat Party is hoping for. A bunch of blind Democrats voting with their feelings. I'll leave it at that, Art.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
All right. 9:45 here on the Art Lewis Show. And we would love to hear from you today. I want to tell you about my friends at McDonald Ford in Freeland. And for me, this is easy to talk about this company because I've been involved with them for a long time with the family and the company, going back to the days of the late Tom Sr. and his car collection. And I used to every now and then go down to the house on a Sunday and help him with some of the cars. And I've known the McDonald's ever since I've come to Saginaw, which was in 1974. And I've bought a lot of cars from them. McDonald Ford on M47 is Freeland. Want you to know that they're not just selling, but they're buying cars. And if you need to put a little extra cash in your pocket, or maybe you got, a car laying around you're not using anymore, turn it into money. And the way to do that is to contact Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Email him, tell him you're interested in selling your car, and he will send you back all the information on how to do it. And you can do it online. And after you've followed the steps, you'll get an offer, and you decide. If you decide to take the offer, you go to the dealership. Payment is on the spot right then and there. They will also do all the paperwork included in that payment and a lien release if there's a lien on your car. So don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today. Tell your friends and family too. You send your photos to Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Find out from Joe exactly what you need to do. Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Tell him you want to sell your car. It's that simple. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. Devoted, that is, to helping and serving you.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Great, it's yours. See you then.
Nathan's Tiki-themed bar is swimming in end-of-year party bookings.
Where can I find that many servers? They want headlamps? And I'm going to need to find a band.
He needs caterers to navigate the rising tide.
No, Mario, not your cousin's cover band.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The resignation from adulthood. I have decided I would like to accept the responsibilities of an 8-year-old again. I want to go to McDonald's and think that it's a 4-star restaurant. I want to sail sticks across a fresh mud puddle. I want to think M&Ms are better than money because you can eat them. I want to return to a time when life was simple and all you knew were colors, nursery rhymes. That didn't bother you because you didn't know what you didn't know and you didn't care. I want to think the world is fair, that everyone is honest and good. I want to be oblivious to the complexities of life and be overly excited by the little things again. So, I am officially resigning from adulthood. And if you want to discuss this further, you'll have to catch me first because tag, you're it.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. Next hour, we're going to talk about the Constitution and changing it, and if you change it, how you change it, with a fellow by the name of At.Chet Grant, and we'll tell you more about that after the news. Also, just looking ahead, tomorrow we will be broadcasting from Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, our annual Memorial Day weekend broadcast, and actually we're going to do it for 2 days this year. Tomorrow we'll do the shows from Abley's, and then Saturday I'll be out there giving you reports on what's happening at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center for Memorial Day weekend. A big, big weekend for them and many nurseries, but it's been a tradition. We've been out there, and the other tradition is that Ernie Krieger joins me, and he will do so at 9 o'clock tomorrow from Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. So we'll tell you more about that tomorrow, but just thought we'd peek ahead and let you know what's coming up, and should be a good time out there. I know they're going to have the I Support the 1%, the pantry run for veterans, and that's been an annual event out there too, where they raise money for the I Support the 1%. So come on out and visit Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. We'll be there from 9 to actually 12:30 tomorrow, because Terry Henny's going to also come out and broadcast out there. And then Saturday we'll be there from 8 to 11. Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. I don't know if you've followed this or not, but there is a new football rule taking effect this season, and it has not found favor in some high places, including the coach of the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, is not a fan of this new rule. What it is a rule that says, and this is a 1-year trial, by the way, on kickoff, kick returners can call for a fair catch anywhere inside the team's 25-yard line, and it will result in a touchback with the ball placed at the 25-yard line as opposed to the 20-yard line. And Andy Reid has said, where does this stop? We'll see how it goes. You don't want to take too many pieces away, and you'll be playing flag football instead of the kind of football we play today. The league has said the reason they've done this is that statistically, return rates for kickoffs have caused more injuries, and they expect that the return rate will drop from 38 to 31%, thus reducing the rate of concussions on kickoffs. So the reason they're doing it is because of the injuries that happen to a return kicker, a kick returner. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Yesterday on the television, I saw on one of the news programs that it was proposed in the legislature that everyone can receive a free, not a free, but be allowed to get a driver's license, and including if you were an illegal alien.
Yeah, it's been talked about.
And this will satisfy the requirement for voter ID when you go to vote.
Yeah, well, great. I don't think that illegals should have the privileges and rights of legal citizens.
I don't either.
Period.
But getting a driver's license is one of the first steps.
Yeah.
For voter ID, and
there are a number of states that do it.
Yeah, if you produce that, you can say I'm a citizen because here's my ID.
Yeah. All right.
And that's where that illegal voting can start right there.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
All righty.
So noted.
Later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Let's talk to Dennis in Frankenmuth. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you,
Hey,
sir?
Dennis, how are you?
Excellent. Listen, your radio station has become so endearing to so many of us, especially with local news not being as prevalent with the Saginaw News as it used to be. So we've become very attached to the personalities associated with the radio station.
Yeah.
We miss Dave Maurer naturally, but we think that overall the quality of the programming is still solid. Who I'm missing is Pat Johnson, who always had a little more liberal view than me, and I loved hearing his side of it, even if I didn't agree, because he was always so logical about how he put it together. Whatever happened to him? I haven't heard him lately.
Yeah, he is no longer with the company, and the other person, Denise, also left at the same time. Change is inevitable, and you never know. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. Well,
but
listen,
I have to tell you, I missed the banter with Pat too, because we used to have a good time together.
Yep. So let me just say, keep up the good work. With so many of us rely on the reporting that you guys are doing, and you're doing an awesome job.
I appreciate it, Dennis. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet. Take care.
Bye-bye. Yep. Daryl, I only got a few seconds. Go ahead real quick.
Hello.
Yeah, real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a continuing of the child labor laws changing.
Okay, you got about 20 seconds.
Okay, Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas passed laws so 13-year-olds can work. But the federal government's going after a company called PSSI, and they are the contractors that are being contracted by these meatpacking companies, hiring these little kids.
Yeah, I saw that article. I'm going to have to do more with it, but I'm out of time right now. We
I'll
will
call you
touch
back.
on it, though. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Join us for an eventful evening celebrating community and collaboration at the 2023 Heart of the City Community Awards Banquet, Thursday, June 8th at Horizons Conference Center, paying tribute to past, present, and future community members and organizations that are committed to service and volunteerism in the Great Lakes Bay community. This year, the Michigan Banner will celebrate its 21st anniversary, and the Latino Banner will celebrate its 11th anniversary. Also, 2 high schoolers will be awarded with the Ray Lynn Tinsley Buckley Scholarship. Enjoy dinner and live entertainment from Cherie Williams and the Robert Lee Review Band. The 2023 Heart of the City Community Awards Banquet, Thursday, June 8th at Horizons Conference Center. Get your tickets now at michiganbanner.org. For questions and general information, contact Jerome Buckley at the Michigan Banner at 989-992-2600.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
That'll do it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back with more right after the news, which is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's just ordered negotiators to work 24/7 on reaching an agreement on the debt ceiling. It follows Fitch's warning default could affect the nation's AAA credit rating. Economist Mark Zandi at Moody's.
Given recent events, given all the drama, given the political partisanship, Fitch thinks that there is a possibility that if things don't go well here, that they would downgrade the debt.
The deadline to avoid default is a week from today. The U.S. economy grew at a lackluster 1.3% annual rate from January through March. And that's a slight upgrade from the original estimate. Bank rates, Mark Hamrick.
Before breaking out the champagne, we should note the revised number is still half the level of Q4's 2.6% and still below what's considered trend or normal growth.
One of the world's largest economies, Germany, has just slipped into recession. Sentencing is underway for Stuart Rhodes, the Proud Boys leader, convicted of spearheading the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Correspondent Scott McFarland is at U.S. District Court in Washington.
No matter what the sentence is, this is going to be history. A modern day sentencing for sedition against America. What the judge decides here clearly is going to impact the other seditious conspiracy cases stemming from January 6th, which go to sentencing later this month.
Prosecutors are asking for 25 years for Rhodes. His attorneys are hoping for time already spent in jail. America is showing its age. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the new count.
The number of people over 100 increased by half, with more than 80,000 Americans now in that category, up from 53,000 during the previous census.
Thanks to aging baby boomers, the number of people over 65 rose almost 39% between 2010 and 2020. Memorial Day weekend's almost here, and so is vacation inflation. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve reports from Chicago.
In April, airfare jumped 2.7% from March. While it's down slightly from last summer, it's nearly 10% higher than it was before the pandemic. Hotels are up 3.5% from last year and up 15% from 2019.
Lizzo paid tribute to the late Tina Turner. Lizzo sang to the crowd at Footprint Center in Phoenix last night. Tina Turner died yesterday in Switzerland at the age of 83. This is CBS News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Good morning. It's 49 degrees with clear skies at 10:05. I'm Lilac Esch. A video game system is playing a key role in a Flint murder case. Mike Vitale with Michigan News Source explains.
A Sony PlayStation game console is a primary witness in a Flint murder from 2019. Deshaun Guthrie was playing the video game when three men broke into his home, shooting and killing him. A woman in the home who was wounded identified the names on the recording, which was sent to ATF agents. That recording, along with other evidence, led investigators to charging Daryl King on Monday on several counts, including using a firearm to commit murder. For Michigan News Source, I'm Mike Vitale.
A Saginaw man with dementia reported missing on Monday has been found safe. 78-year-old Turner Fife left his home on the city's east side around 3 p.m. Monday in a burgundy Cadillac. Police say he was discovered in Jackson and has been returned home. Fife went missing once before in January when he left his home and was later located in Charlevoix after running out of gas. Two police agencies in mid-Michigan are mourning the loss of retired canine police dogs. Jax, a 13-year-old German Shepherd, served the Michigan State Police at the Tri-City and Flint posts from 2013 to 2021. He was euthanized Tuesday after suffering a medical condition. He was partnered with Trooper Dennis McGuckin. The Aranac County Sheriff's Department is also celebrating the life and service of canine officer Sonic. Sonic, a Dutch Shepherd mix, passed away Saturday. Sonic worked for the department from 2011 to 2017 with two partners, Deputy Jackson Cockrell and Deputy Trevor Sprague. Sonic was trained in narcotics detection and tracking people. WSGW News Time is 10:07.
Spring is here and we are ready to help you get your yard looking alive. Hi, I'm Matt Bouvet. At Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, our plants look great. They're hardy and colorful because we grow them here with a little touch of TLC. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we want you to know that when you plant with us, you get the best plants, along with time-tested and proven advice at very competitive prices. Looking at a garden this year? Maybe a little bigger than in past years? Don't forget, our garden plants are top quality. So along with our staff of planting pros, your garden will have all the makings of many healthy meals this summer. Our reputation for top quality plants at a price you can afford continues even now. See us online. Like us on Facebook and Twitter too. It's that easy. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Get the TLC you deserve. Plan to plant with us this spring. at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center on Wadsworth, near the freeway, Saginaw. See us today.
It's 10 years in prison for a dealer caught near a Grand Rapids high school. Police responded to the scene. More shots were fired before the car tried to flee, but it crashed. Dante Matthews ran, but police caught him trying to climb a fence. Matthews had a gun on him, and inside the car were bags of fentanyl and cocaine. He was already on supervised release for a prior federal drug trafficking charge. The judge also added an extra 30 months for violating the terms of his supervision. Most of us will be getting outside this holiday weekend, but make sure to wear sunscreen. Priority Health family physician Dr. James Forshee says skin cancer is the #1 type of cancer in America, with more than 5 million cases diagnosed each year. He says you should check your skin every month. Forshee says the sun is most intense between the hours of 10 and 2, but recommends wearing sunscreen all day long.
We look for things that are new or changing or unusual on our skin. It can be a new growth. It could be a change in the size of a current mole or wart, or something on your skin that changes size, the shape changes, the thickness changes, the color or the texture changes, or something that's itching or bleeding or just not healing.
The Mackinac Island Police Department is reiterating to all visitors and residents of the island that electric bikes are not allowed, with exceptions only for those used as mobility devices for those with disabilities. The primary modes of transportation on Mackinac Island are walking and biking. There are no motor vehicles in order for the tourist attraction to maintain their atmosphere and tradition. Violation of the ordinance could lead to a more than $100 fine. Teachers in the Battle Creek Public School District are getting a pay raise, a big one. Beginning with the upcoming school year, all teachers will receive an average increase of more than $10,000. News of the agreement reached between the district and Battle Creek Education Association comes just 1 week after the announcement of a major investment in student success. The new Bearcat Advantage Scholarship will cover up to 100% of college tuition and mandatory fees for eligible graduates. On a side note, the district is holding a job fair on June 20th for anyone interested in a career with Battle Creek schools. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 10:10. I'm Lilac Esch. Now for your weather with First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Thursday sees a high of 59 degrees, plenty of sunshine through today with high pressure in place. We'll have a northeast wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. For tonight, we'll have a low of 37 degrees, mostly clear, patchy frost looking likely again, but then by Friday, warming up even more, a high of 70 with sunny skies and a northeast wind at 5 to 10. For your Saturday, sunny, 76, Sunday, 80, and mostly sunny. A perfect holiday weekend is ahead of us, even on Monday, looking to be mostly sunny, and after the upcoming Thursday night, we won't be worried about frost through the weekend or really even next week. It's looking like these may actually be the last frosts of the spring. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently, we have 52 degrees under sunny skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw, sponsors the Art Lewis Show. Stop in, see their expanded showroom and their new product lines, too, at Westside Decorating Center. We're going to talk about the Constitution today, how it can be changed, if it needs to be changed, for that matter. And we are going to do so with a special guest this morning. He is the regional captain of a thing called Convention of States. And we say good morning to At.Chet Grant. Chet, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on. All right, let's talk, first of all, an overview of the organization. What is the Convention of States?
It's a nonprofit organization founded by Mark Meckler in 2013. Mark's an attorney. It was founded and based on what's called Article 5, which is embedded in our Constitution. Article 5 was created by our founders to allow we the people, the states principally, the ability to make amendments to the Constitution. We're not going to change the Constitution proper. We're going to make amendments to it just as we have 27 times before in our history, okay? So we are in all 50 states. We have a strong grassroots organization that numbers about 5 million people in the country. And we're working to implement an Article 5 Convention of States implemented for the purpose of bringing about term limits, fiscal accountability, and reduced government size and scope. Under each of those three, you can propose a number of different amendments that, of course, when done, have to go back out to the states and be ratified by 38 states.
So, Chet, let me ask you this. Is this what typically is referred to as a constitutional convention, or is it not?
It is not.
That's what I thought. Because there are a lot of folks who don't want to see a constitutional convention because then the whole thing gets blown out of proportion.
Right.
So I have to ask this. While the intent is good, we know that we can't get it done through Congress.
Right.
It's never happened. And once you would propose an amendment, you still have the same obstacles. Getting enough states on board or Congress on board. You really think you can do that?
Yes. Number one, going the route of Article 5 and calling such a convention leaves the federal government out of the picture. The only thing they can do is set the date, time, and place once they receive applications from 34 states. The applications have to be essentially the same from state to state. Those same three topic areas, the resolutions are worded essentially the same. But once done, the convention is called and amendments are proposed by the commissioners that attend. And then those, as I said, have to go back out to the states for full ratification.
What's the reality?
It's a tough go. This is not something,
on purpose, by the way, from the founding fathers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The founders created a wonderful document in our Constitution, and they put an appropriate level of rigor into what they created, especially when it comes to the Constitution and the amendment process. They put an appropriate level of rigor into this system so as to not let frivolous things happen. Okay. So it's a tough road. We've got 19 states today that have signed on. Michigan is still working on it. We've got to tread water here a little bit since the election in November. Michigan is a very purple state. It's not red, it's not blue. So it's reachable, it's doable, but it's going to take some concentrated work and effort to make it happen here in Michigan, as it will with the balance of the states we need to achieve that number of 34.
But they're signing on without seeing language. They're signing on for what right now?
They're signing on to support a resolution we had in Michigan. It was called HJRE. It was a resolution that up until this year was in the Equality and Ethics Subcommittee chaired by Ann Boland. And the language in that resolution stipulated why Michigan, or what Michigan was going to support as a member of the convention.
So let's talk about these topics. Let's start with term limits. That's one of the more controversial issues, along with the size of government and funding and all of that. Some people would say to you, look, Chet, you already have term limits. It's called the polls. You go to vote.
Right. And I guess my response to that would be, how long have we been voting in this country? Voting people in, voting people in, voting people out. And where has that gotten us? Yes, you've changed people. If you don't like what they do, you absolutely do that. But the thing that gets overlooked here is you can put a good person into broken system and still get junk out the other end. And that's what we have to deal with. You know, you can send good people to Washington, D.C., and unless you structurally change things, you're going to get the same thing you've always got. So if we keep voting people in and we don't change the structure of government, nothing changes.
Some people would say, well, I mean, look, you're never going to get everything you want. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Sure.
Nature of the beast.
Yep. Absolutely true. You know,
and the country has survived a long time doing it this way.
It absolutely has. Look what's going on today with the debt ceiling negotiations. You know, the Republicans have posed what most people, I think, is a reasonable approach. The Democrats, of course, are not on board with that. But, you know, in the end, they will come up with a compromise that will work reasonably well. And that's our history. You know, is when you've got people reaching across the aisle, that's when we can make progress. All
right, so I have to ask this question, though.
Yes.
If that's our history and we've succeeded with it for all this time, why change it?
You change it because the government has become far more intrusive than it ever has been. You know, they're into our pockets, they're into our lives way more than they need to be. They've through money in grants and entitlements they send to the states. You know, the states have become their local federal agency, and so to speak. You know, the federal government offers up incentives in the way of money. If you do this, I'll give you this money. And so they've begun to assume greater control over states, and states are losing their sovereignty.
All right, so I'm going to play the devil's advocate, which is what I'm doing here.
Sure.
People would say to you, okay, well, that's one side doing that. Don't like that side, vote them out. Put the side in that you think will do the job the way you want it done.
Sure.
Which is also our history. It would seem to me that you want to insert into the Constitution the way you want to see it done your way. And there are a lot of people who probably don't want to see it done that way. Does it exclude people when you do that?
No, it doesn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's the problem. Again, it's a structural issue here. Republicans and Democrats alike, for all that they do in Washington, D.C., have failed this country, both parties. You know, we are a nonprofit 501c4, which means we have to behave in a nonpartisan manner. I can't support a party, a candidate. We can't do that. And so
you can do it individually, but
I can do it. Yes.
As an organization, you can't do it.
As a member of the organization, I can't do that. You're absolutely right. But if you go back and do anything in our history, you know, this is Chet's interpretation. We, the people, are the ping pong in a ping pong match. Okay?
I like that. Yeah.
You know, we get bounced back and forth between the parties. They blame each other. They tear each other down. You know, what's going on today is a national embarrassment, frankly, in my opinion. Okay.
Right. I have to take a break. When we come back, talk about a couple of the other issues because they're probably a little more universal than term limits. We'll talk about it. We're talking to At.Chet Grant. He is a member of the Convention of States, and we will talk more with him when we return.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now. From Bell's Barkery and Boutique, The Bearded Axe, Applied Training Solutions, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning, JB's Market in Munger, Branham's Jewelry, and so many more. And they're all half off. Snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open mixed. The NASDAQ is surging on an upbeat report from NVIDIA. The revised reading on the gross domestic product had little impact. The update is modest growth of 1.3% for the economy in the first quarter. Credit rating service Fitch is warning that the U.S. top credit rating could be at risk because of the debt ceiling standoff. But shares of chip maker NVIDIA opened at a record. It's reporting surging demand for its chips used in artificial intelligence. Not only did its previous quarter come in better than expected, but it predicts this will be a record quarter. NVIDIA is based in Santa Clara, California. And Best Buy sales dropped in its recent quarter, but its earnings were upbeat and the stock opened 1% higher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
At SimpliSafe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with SimpliSafe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you, talking to At.Chet Grant about the Constitution and ways of changing it, and if it needs to be changed. There was term limits we talked about. What were the other two?
Fiscal accountability and reduced government size and scope.
Okay, so let's start with fiscal accountability, because I suspect that's one area where you can probably get the kind of support you might need to get it through. So when you say fiscal responsibility, what are you talking about? How do you get there?
Well, it's simple things that most businesses today have to do. As an example, most businesses in the country have to undergo an audit of their books. The Congress does not do that. So you put upon them a requirement that allows them to go through some sort of an audit for transparency purposes, so you know the money in and the money out, where it's going, how it's being spent. So you start with something like that.
Chet, let me ask this though. The Office of Money the Office of Management and Budget,
OMB.
Don't they have an auditor general that does that?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that I understand precisely how it works today, but I don't think it functions in the way that, if you look at something like the accounting and the accounting industry and business, where they go through financial audits and accounting, I don't think the OMB does that necessarily, but I could be wrong there. But the point is to be more transparent with the money in. The other element in all of this is to work towards some kind of a mandated balanced budget.
That would be my suggestion. That's an amendment I could support hands down.
Yeah,
we all have to live that way as individuals. States have to live that way. And why does the federal government, who has the printing press, not have to live that way?
Yeah, well, and it's because of that lack of discipline when it comes to budgeting, that we find ourselves with a debt that's out of control.
Yeah. So, are there in your proposal requirements to have a balanced budget? Is that part of what you think will come forth?
It could. The three elements we're talking about are not specific. So the specifics around each of these will be developed in the convention. Okay. So, the delegates there are going to debate, argue, whatever they have to do to come up with something they can all support, and then put that forth as an element for ratification by the 38 states. So, the specifics get worked out in convention, but, we have, Convention of States, we've got some proposals that we'd like to take forward once the convention is called. Balanced budgets is only one. Some kind of accounting practice is another one. If you stop and think about it, most people don't understand how big the federal government is. There are 4 million people work in our federal government today. And there are something over 400 different departments, agencies, and offices in our federal government, most of which reside within the executive branch. And it's that unelected bureaucracy that, not the only, but the central target for what we need to do. We need to affect that unelected bureaucracy, and you can do that very quickly, but by managing your money.
Yeah, it would seem to me that a balanced budget amendment would take care of a couple of the issues you're looking at, including the size of government.
Yes.
That would just seem to me to be the logical answer.
Yes, it could. It's words matter, when you get into these kinds of things. And so the language that comes out of the convention is going to be important as to the long-term effect that it will have. And just look at our Constitution, the way it was put together, the language and the wording that was used, and it survived for 230 years.
Yeah, but we also realized that the founding fathers that put that together could agree on very little.
True.
They compromised on almost everything. And
absolutely true.
You wouldn't be here.
Yes, that's absolutely true. A lot of them didn't even like each other.
They didn't like each other.
No.
Some of them shot at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the end, it was compromise that did it. So when you call these delegates into this convention, now you mentioned these 3 areas,
right?
Term limits, accountability, fiscal accountability, and the size of government. Is this convention then restricted to those items?
Absolutely, it is. Each state drafts up how they're going to pick the delegates, but this proposal, this resolution, is the same resolution state to state to state. The 3 elements are exactly the same in every state. There have been many calls for conventions of states over the years, many, none of which have ever come to fruition, mostly because they didn't have the call in all 50 states. And if they had something, the call was not the same. which tells you that the language matters here when trying to pull this off. So it's got to be the same in all 50 states. They've all got to agree to it. They've all got to charge their delegates and their commissioners with the same thing. They're bound by those 3 topic areas. They could be recalled, and in some cases they could be penalized criminally if they don't stick to those 3 topic areas when they're at the convention.
Well, the founding fathers are probably rolling over in their graves, because if they came back, they'd have 2 words for you. Good luck.
Perhaps. This is not an easy thing. We've been at this. Mark Meckler's been at this since 2013. It is the biggest, as I said earlier, it's the biggest grassroots effort in the country. And it's, states like Florida, they've already passed it, but they're still active. And you ask yourself, why? Well, you got to now think about when this convention happens, you got to get it ratified by 38 states. So you've got to maintain this grassroots effort. And our mission is essentially one of informing, educating, and engaging people, be it volunteers or be it our state legislators, okay? So that's going to go on for the rest of my life, I'm sure.
It's going to go on forever.
It'll go on forever, but it's all about informing at the grassroots level, educating folks so they know what they're talking about, what they've got to do. It's amazing to me, Art, when I go around the state, and especially in my regions, it's amazing to me what people do not remember or even know about the Constitution.
Yeah, well,
it's frightening.
And I don't think we teach it as well as we used to either.
I agree.
So let me ask this conclusion here. If someone is interested, is there a website or a place you can go for more information?
There absolutely is. In the state of Michigan, we have a site. It's all one word, conventionofstates.com, with a / the word Michigan, a dash, and then the word home. That'll take you to our website. There is a tremendous amount of information there. If you want to volunteer, if you want to help us in some capacity, we've got a number of roles, like my regional captain role that you can assume. We've got a tremendous training program that get people up to speed so they can do what they want to do. But it's all volunteer.
All right, Chet. Well, look, it's an interesting conversation. I'd be curious to see how well it gets along. So we'll do this again down the road.
Good. Can I throw out one more thing?
Absolutely.
I'm going to be doing, beginning June 1st, a series on the Constitution. It'll go for 12 weeks, Thursday nights, at the Clio Senior Center. If you want to understand more about the Constitution, I'd encourage you to join us.
Sounds interesting. That'll be Thursdays. And what time does it start?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. And starting when? Which Thursday? When
June 1st.
June 1st.
June 1st.
All right. Good luck with it, Chet. We'll talk to you again.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
At.Chet Grant, Regional Captain for the Convention of States here in Michigan. And we will be back with open phones for the remainder of the hour.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Bixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you. A little lighter poll for some fun. Detroit sports teams and the playoffs. Since 1958, when the Pistons joined the Tigers, Lions, and Red Wings as part of the four major Detroit sports teams, the longest playoff drought, when none of the teams made the playoffs, was a 3-year stretch from 1979 to 1981. That stretch is now in danger of being extended, as no Detroit team has made the playoffs the last 3 years, 2020 through 2022. So the WSGW poll question for you is, what Detroit sports team do you think will be the first in the playoffs since the Pistons did it last in 2019? In alphabetical order, will it be the Lions, the Pistons, the Red Wings, or the Tigers? Make your prediction with your vote. You head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the poll box and make your vote that way.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
We're back with you here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. Your guest just a few minutes ago, you're talking about a balanced budget amendment. I think he said 38 states, but I believe it's 34 states to have to ratify an amendment. He said 38 a couple of times.
This is a little, it may be 38 in the way this one is structured. It's 34 if it goes through Congress, I think.
Okay, well, maybe.
But I'll find out. That's a good point.
Okay. Art, have you ever wondered why a balanced budget amendment has never passed before, or why it was not in the original Constitution?
I've wondered about it, but I haven't dwelled on it. I just know that, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the reason I've heard is for a country, it's different from a state. A country might have to go to war. And when you're at war, you don't balance your budget. You build tanks and planes, and you don't balance the budget. When we were in World War II, we did not have a balanced budget. We spent money like crazy.
So why can't you have a balanced budget? Why can't you have a balanced budget that allows for wartime?
Well, you could, I think, but there would be an exception.
Well, there's exceptions to everything, aren't there?
Right, but I think that's the reason we've never had one before.
It may be.
That's the reason it's not in the Constitution originally. It's different from states, which have to, states don't go to war, so they don't have that type of obligation.
Well, I don't know about that because they send their National Guards off to war, don't they?
Yeah, but it doesn't cost them.
Of course it does.
Billions of dollars to do that. It doesn't.
No, they get the money from the federal government, right?
Well, exactly. And Art, you also mentioned, you said, the feds should balance the budget, because we all have to balance our budgets. Well, is that really true?
Yes.
Because, no, most of the people I know, they have a mortgage, they have a car loan, they might have a student loan.
But they can afford to pay for it, right?
Yeah, but that's not a balanced budget.
And they don't have a printing press. They can't print more money. So they have to live. Yeah, that is a balanced budget. You're living within your budget contains those payments, doesn't it?
Yes, but if you owe a mortgage, a car loan, a student loan, credit card loan,
within your ability to pay for it,
balancing your budget.
Within your ability to pay for it.
Well, the government is paying for it now too.
It keeps raising the debt limit every time it needs to. You can't do that, can you? No, they don't.
Yes.
No, they don't.
Do.
Tell me something.
People do it all the time.
Tell me something, Carl. Tell me something, Carl. If you have more credit cards and more mortgages than you can afford to pay, what do?
Well, some people go bankrupt.
Oh, really? So they unbalance themselves.
But Art, you said normal people balance their budgets.
They do.
They don't.
You can only spend the money you have. Government can print more money. You can't.
Well, people can run themselves into debt right up to their eyeballs.
Exactly.
And I don't see where that's balancing your budget.
It's balancing your budget because if you have the money to pay for it, you're balancing your budget. If you have $1,000 worth of expenses and you only have $900 of income, you're out of luck. But the government isn't. They just print an extra $100.
Well, I think if you're making your minimum credit card payments and you're behind,
it's not the way to live. But
you're behind in your mortgage and everything, I would say you're not balancing your budget.
No, but I would also say you're gonna lose your home.
Well, you might.
Well, and that'll balance your budget for you, wouldn't it?
But I would not compare the federal government to what the average person does.
No, you can't because they live in their own world.
Well,
all right.
Okay.
Got to run. Take care.
Okay.
Yep. Mike and Errol, hang on. We'll get to you right after these notes.
To maximize yield and crop quality, corn needs nutrients, especially nitrogen. But it isn't enough to apply nitrogen and hope for the best. Growers need to make sure applied nitrogen isn't lost and the corn crop is getting enough nutrients for optimal growth. Mike Zwingman is row crop agronomist head for Verdesian.
If we had some nitrification, we start getting some big rains that are soakers, and it pushes a lot of water through the soil profile, and that nitrate goes with it. Now that nitrate's below the soil surface or below the root mass, and it's really going to be hard for us to take that up. So nitrogen stabilizers are going to help us keep that ammonium attached to the soil particle and keep it up in the root mass, and keep it available for that plant longer. That's what a stabilizer does. It buffers that time and unpredictability of what's going to happen in the growing season.
To learn more about nitrogen management, go to VLSCI.com.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Jesse Kelly here. If given the choice between financial stress or peace of mind, I will always choose peace of mind. That is why I've secured gold and silver from the Oxford Gold Group. Having precious metals in your home safe or in your 401k or IRA should be considered your investment strategy. Simply put, it's a portfolio protection plan. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Bases are loaded. Swinging a line drive left field. This one's over his head up against the wall. House is in. Short's right behind him. They're going to wave Riley Green around third. The throw from the outfield, not in time.
The Tigers play at 6:15 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW. Mike is in Saginaw. Mike, good morning. Mike?
This is Mike in Bay City.
Okay.
Michael.
Hi, Michael. Morning.
I just want to make a comment on your first caller in last hour, talking about migrants coming over and getting a driver's license, and then they'll be able to go and vote. Well, let me straighten this out for somebody, talking from experience. First of all, when you come in this country, you have to be living here for 5 years before you can apply for a citizenship. And in order to vote, you have to be a citizen, naturally born or naturalized. And then you take that citizenship papers to your Secretary of State, and they register you for voting. And then when you go to vote, you show your driver's license, and they run it on the computer, and they do see that you are registered voter, and then you can vote.
Right.
You can't come into the voting place and show a driver's license, which you can get without being a citizen. So it doesn't work that way. You have to be a citizen of the United States, naturally born.
Well,
naturalized.
Understand this, Michael. You're correct in the way it is, but there are a lot of areas in the country right now that are trying to change that and give the right to vote to those who have not come through the country in a legal manner.
Yeah, well.
Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but there are areas that want to do that.
Well, if they're trying to change it, then that's a different. But you have to be here for 5 years before you can even apply for the citizenship.
But you come in legally. You've done it legally. You've done everything asked of you.
I'm talking from experience. Just a few days ago, it's my anniversary of I came here in 1968.
And we welcomed you, and you've been a productive citizen, right? You've contributed to our society.
Yes, I've been here since I was 16. So,
and you know, the thing is, Michael, the country's built on immigrants.
That's right.
It's not against immigrants. It's against an open border without control.
Yeah, but
and controlling the flow.
The biggest reason I call you because this guy's spreading rumors like that, and then some people believe stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I understand, and you're right about that.
It hasn't been changed yet. It's still the law in the books.
Yeah.
So you can't spread rumors like that, saying like that, where you can just show a driver's license and you can vote.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
Perfect.
Maybe down the road it will change it, but right now it is not.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Hey, thanks for coming. Bye-bye now.
Yep, thank you, and thank you for a good show.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we'll talk to Errol now in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
You need your life lightened up. I'm going to make it. Oh, yes. I'm going to make it interesting. We're not going to talk politics. I want to talk about being married. Okay. How many years were you married to that young lady?
56.
Okay. We've been at this hobby for 63 years. Okay.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
I know you, and you found somebody to put up with you for 63 years?
Hey. That's a story in itself, not for today. Have you, did you ever go in your wife's purse?
No.
I mean, not illegally.
Well, I take that back. I take that back. One time she told me to get her keys out of her purse.
Okay. In 63 years, I have never been in my wife's purse. Just it's a thing. She has never been in my wallet. There are only two things that is your own. And it's not, you're not hiding anything, but that's just, that's a philosophy that works for us. I just have never been in it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. No, when you've married so long, I've got a philosophy. If you're married for a long, long time, you start to look like each other. and then both of you look like the Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
Well,
the secret to a long marriage, and people often ask that, what's the secret to a long marriage? The secret to a long marriage is not the problem, it's how you solve the problem. And communication is the key.
I know a couple, I think they passed away, but they were blind, deaf, and mute. Do you know what they argued about the most? Who was going to turn on the outside light at night on the back porch? That's what they thought about all the time.
Yeah, it's all different for everybody.
Did that lighten your life up from politics?
It does. Thank you very much. And happy.
You never know what I'm going to bring up, do you?
Happy anniversary whenever it is.
It was 4 days ago or something.
Go on, happy anniversary then.
It was in this month, son.
All right, whoops. Sorry. Earl, I'm sorry. I apologize. I pushed the button too fast. Dan is in Bay County. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I was just listening to your show and the incident about voting.
Mm-hmm.
I had a close relative that went out to see his daughter by San Diego, not too far from the border last year, and he went in there and he was able to vote, not showing anything.
No, wait.
Did you hear what he said?
He's able to vote for what? Local issues, local people?
Well, this is
where's he from?
It was local. Well, he's from New York, but he was out there visiting California by San Diego, and he was allowed to vote. He didn't have to show anything.
Jeez, that's scary.
I'm just telling you, this stuff is going on. They want to do this actually in New York City.
No, I know that. I know that's why I mentioned it to Michael.
The mayor, and any of these high populated areas, and especially where they're highly democratic, they're looking at doing that. That's why all these migrants, all illegal migrants, they want them over here so they can set this thing up.
Yeah, they think they're all going to vote Democratic. They might be surprised. So,
well, I can tell you, I know firsthand experience because he told us about it when he called us up and told us about it, and I was very shocked and surprised, and this is last year.
And he has no connection to California, no address, nothing out there.
No, he didn't have to show anything.
That's weird.
Nothing.
All right. Because I'd be curious how they found him. Well, how do they find him on the voter rolls? I don't know.
How do they find them?
Yeah.
I don't think they really care, Art.
I guess not. All right. I got to run, Dan. I'm out of time.
All right.
Thanks for calling. And we will have open phones next half hour, too, during the Focus program.
Uncover up to $100,000 of riches in the Pyramid of Cash. Fridays and Saturdays in May, walk like an Egyptian into Saganing Eagles Landing for drawings 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Lucky players every hour get the chance to climb to the top of the pyramid and win up to $100 grand. It's Pyramid of Cash, only at Saganing Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saganing-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Cottage Inn Pizza in Saginaw. You will get half off of a family meal deal. That includes a large one-topping pizza, a large specialty pizza, one large cheesy bread, and a 2-liter of pop. It's normally $50, but you can get this deal right now for just $25. This is only valid at the Cottage Inn Pizza on Bay Road in Saginaw. Make sure you head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
All right, that'll do it for the official Art Lewis show. We're going to continue it, though, through Focus next hour. So at least for the next 25 minutes or so after the news, we will have the ability to take phone calls. So chime in, whatever's on your mind. We'll talk to you then. Stick around now for the news from CBS and the local report.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. The leader of the Oath Keepers is about to learn his fate in a Washington court. Stuart Rhodes was convicted of seditious conspiracy for his role in the Capitol attack. CBS's Scott McFarland says prosecutors want a sentence of 25 years in prison.
They argue that he was a plotter and a planner, somebody who helped galvanize and organize this attack against the U.S. government and an attempt to block the peaceful transfer of power in America. Defense attorneys argue for a sentence of time served, that he be allowed to leave the courthouse and go home.
Also in Washington, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy just moments ago about the debt ceiling talks.
We've already talked to the White House today. We'll continue to work. They're working on numbers. We're working on numbers, and we'll work together.
CBS's Nancy Cordes has more on the thinking heading into a holiday weekend.
They would let all the House members go home for Memorial Day weekend, but tell them, hey, stay close to your phones. We may need you to come back within 24 hours if we're ready to vote, setting up a possible vote for early next week.
After yesterday's glitchy entrance into the 2024 presidential race, Ron DeSantis will now try to close the gap with former President Trump as the GOP battle shifts into high gear. Florida political scientist Aubrey Jewett wonders if DeSantis' strong-armed confrontational approach will change.
Some people do like a strong leader, and that's what they're looking for. So I think for some voters, it might be appealing. But for others, they might find it a little disconcerting, his style.
South Carolina's governor has just signed a bill banning most abortions at around 6 weeks of pregnancy. The big push is beginning for travelers looking to get a head start on summer.
Millions of Americans like Jim Johnson are more than ready to hit the road this Memorial Day weekend and beyond.
It's just a little more challenging in terms of just planning and knowing how to account for expenses, but we still plan on going.
More than 42 million Americans are expected to travel this holiday weekend by car, train, plane, or bus. Jim Krasula, CBS News, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Well, the government has revised its growth growth figures for the first 3 months of the year. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says it's a bit of an improvement.
At the first report, the advance estimate, it showed that GDP increased by 1.1%. The new estimate increased that a little bit at an annual rate of 1.3%.
And checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 43 points, but the other exchanges are higher. The S&P is up 28. The NASDAQ is up 182 points. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now. From Bell's Barkery and Boutique, The Bearded Axe, Applied Training Solutions, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning, JB's Market in Munger, Branham's Jewelry, and so many more. And they're all half off. Snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
At SimpliSafe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with SimpliSafe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Good morning. It's 50 degrees with clear blue skies. At 11:05, I'm Lilac Ash. A crash involving a state patrol vehicle in Saginaw Township resulted in only minor injuries. Authorities say a trooper was driving a state police Ford Explorer east on State Street while responding to a call with lights and sirens activated around 5:45 Tuesday afternoon. While turning onto North Center Road, the patrol vehicle and a civilian vehicle that was driving north on Center collided, according to police. The trooper was uninjured, and the civilian was reportedly treated at a local hospital for minor injuries. Both vehicles sustained heavy damage and were towed from the scene. Inmates at the Saginaw Correctional Facility have earned college degrees. WJRT-TV reports a graduation ceremony was held for 7 inmates at the facility on Wednesday. They earned degrees in various areas of study through Delta College, which was paid for by Pell Grants. Delta and state correctional officials say education is a way to improve life inside a correctional facility and reduces convicted felons returning to prison by 43%. While they still have to serve the remainder of their sentences, they will be in a better position to succeed once they are released from prison. The world's largest Olympic-style dog festival will be this weekend in Frankenmuth. Each year, the Frankenmuth Dog Bowl puts on competitions for dogs such as sheep herding, wiener dog races, and lure coursing. This year's festival will take place this Saturday and Sunday on 25 acres around the River Place shops. Dogs are welcome as long as they're leashed, and you can sign up your furry friend for races and other contests. Find more information at dogbowlfun.com. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
Hello, I'm Shep. And I'm Mark. And we're the friendly, board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
When it comes to pest management, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Seems like people only think of us once they've spotted a pest.
And by then, it could very well be expensive to treat.
That's where our free home assessments come in. We'll look for signs of pests and identify conditions that are conducive to unwanted visitors.
Whether it's a mouse in your house or a full-blown millipede bloom,
we have just the right solution to make your yard and your home more livable.
800-966-ROSE.
When I grow up, I want to be a race car driver. My mom says I could be an astronaut. Someday, I'm going to be turned into sugar and made into the world's stickiest, sweetest lollipop ever.
Provosol fungicide from BASF helps every sugar beet live up to its fullest potential. Advanced disease control means you get enhanced Cercospora leaf spot protection and more recoverable sucrose. Help your sugar beets achieve their dreams and maximize your yield potential with Provosol fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
WSGW News Time is 11:08. Weather forecast is next. New information coming to light about the Lansing man police say carried out the mass shooting at Michigan State University in February. According to police reports, days before Anthony McRae allegedly went on his shooting spree, he watched YouTube videos about school shootings and documentaries about killers and arson. The reports also revealed that the 43-year-old McRae watched videos of MSU campus tours. The findings are the results of search warrants obtained by MSU police. Federal agents will be helping Detroit police in two parts of the city where shootings, robberies, and carjackings are the highest. U.S. Attorney Don Eisen this afternoon announced a summer enhancement strategy that will start on Monday. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy said authorities are losing the battle against gun violence, and there have been more than 850 murders, carjackings, and other violent crimes in the city since the start of the year.
Much like last year, we are again addressing the most violent neighborhoods in Detroit, and they continue to be sections in the 8th precinct and sections in the 9th precinct. And so we're here to announce that enhanced summer enforcement strategy, and with the hopes that we are going to make a difference in those communities.
A pickup truck crashed into a bank in Grand Rapids last night. Then the driver got out. He reportedly got back in the truck and drove off. It happened at a Chase Bank on Lake Michigan Drive Northwest. The bank was closed at the time. Teachers in the battle. The Michigan Supreme Court has agreed to decide whether the government can use drones to conduct surveillance on private property without first obtaining a search warrant. The case centers around northern Michigan property owned by Todd and Heather Maxon. Attorneys for the Maxons say officials in Long Lake Township used the drone to take detailed photos and videos as part of a zoning dispute. The couple is being represented by the Institute for Justice, which is asking the court to rule that the government violated their Fourth Amendment rights and can't use illegally obtained photos and videos to punish them. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Lilac Esch. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Thursday sees a high of 59 degrees, plenty of sunshine through today with high pressure in place. We'll have a northeast wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. For tonight, we'll have a low of 37 degrees, mostly clear, patchy frost looking likely again, but then by Friday, warming up even more, a high of 70 with sunny skies and a northeast wind at 5 to 10. For your Saturday, sunny 76, Sunday